alumnus. I started with the firm as a co-op student in 2006 and then spent the next 7 years in one shape or another at the firm. Actually ended up working in all 5 services and ended up leaving the firm in 2013. Audacious Futures is all about this belief that the future matters, and it's up to us to go about creating it in the way that we think we need to, whether that's as individuals, whether it's as organizations, or as communities and societies. So all of our work is around using the power of innovation to reimagine the future. So I'm a math guy by background, right? I studied math when I went through school at first. And in math, you're always solving for an X, right? And that was really the journey at the firm as well. You were solving for an X, and that X was a business problem for a client organization perhaps. And so for me, it's just all over time, the most complex, interesting X's to solve for, problems to solve for, have been societal problems. I think there are ones that increasingly organizations are also focused on solving, and businesses are focused on solving. You see this everywhere, this idea of purpose-led careers, purpose-led businesses. And so I think for me, that's always been the driver. How can we work together to solve some of these large, complex challenges like education, like health, like poverty, like infrastructure, and knowing that the only way to do that is all together. It's going to take government, it's going to take individuals, it's going to take business, academia, all of us coming together to solve them. That's what's always been the driver for me. You know, I often say Deloitte is where I grew up, right? Deloitte is where I went to really went to school, right? I went to 16 years of school, but mostly got by doing enough that I needed to. I think in a lot of ways, the firm was where I really got to grow up. It's where I got to see the world in a whole new way by working on an incredible range of projects that I can hardly think of another company where you could get such a wide variety of exposure to a wide range of problems and possibilities. And it's also where I really went to school. When I say that, I mean I learned the kind of things that I think I carry with me for a long time. Doesn't matter what the problem is, we can find a way of solving it. Right? And I think that's what's really stuck with me. And some might say that is consulting training, you know, but I think at the firm particularly, it's even a much broader range. If you think across the services, there almost literally any problem an organization has, the firm can find the right group of people who, when put together with the right support, can find a way of helping that client through that problem. And so I think those fundamentals of problem solving, of how to go about approaching a problem that you actually might have, especially as junior staff, might have never come across before, right? But still being able to create meaningful value and deliver value for the client, for the partner, is what I really took away. If someone is considering joining the firm, what I would tell them is to take off the blinders of what they think Deloitte is, because almost certainly it's a lot more than they can imagine, right? And I mean, there's so much of the firm I didn't even get to experience, so much of the firm that has come to life since I left the firm. Whether it's Deloitte Digital or Deloitte University or the work that's being done around data analytics or blockchain, I think just about anything that you might be interested in, there's a corner of this global firm that you could find your tribe, you could find your passions. So that's what I would say to people who are considering the firm. Don't look at it just as an accounting firm. Don't look at it just for a consulting job. There is so much that you can explore and learn here. You know, so many incredible moments, from getting the chance to go down to Deloitte University when it first opened in the US in Texas. But I think, yeah, that was absolutely incredible. I mean, I got to go live in Barbados with the firm, which was mind-blowing. Oliver Jordan, the partner there, made a huge difference in my time there. But I think one that really truly stands out, I was in consulting at the time, probably new in consulting. And the national leader of consulting, if I'm not mistaken, was Paul Robinson. And this incredible human being, one of the sharpest and most generous people I'd ever met. I never personally knew him, but I always got to watch him as he led the practice. And he sends an email out and says, we're sponsoring the Olympics. We've got a competition. If you send an idea about how consulting can improve and change, and Deloitte National Consulting, then you might have a chance to go to the Olympics. It was due at 5 p.m. on a Friday. Of course, at 4:40 p.m., I decide I'm going to go back to the email and send an idea in, wrote a couple of paragraphs, didn't think much of it for a couple of months. Got lucky enough, probably paperwork mixed up. I ended up winning the competition, which meant I got to go to the 2010 Winter Olympics, supported and sponsored by the firm, and to be in Vancouver, to see this country come out with such level of pride that I think we normally never express that overtly and that publicly, to be in the middle of Robson Square and literally every direction was red and white singing "O Canada" as a group after we won one of the hockey games. Probably by far one of my most memorable moments in life, but also definitely top highlights of the firm. I think probably the first thing I would say is I'm far from successful. But I think, lots to go, lots to hopefully learn along the way. But for I think where I've been able to get to and the small progress I've been able to make, in some ways cannot discount my parents deciding to move us here to Canada. That changed our lives forever for the better. So credit them for it. And then in the context of professional life, there is literally, I've worked at some great organizations, but none have been for as long and as varied and diverse as my time here at the firm. So all the people, I think specifically at the firm, who made the choice to give me an opportunity where I might have not necessarily on paper been ready for it, and the ones who helped me see my blind spots. I think those two groups of people at the firm I probably credit the most. To be able to make sure I didn't fall through the cracks and make sure I got a chance at opportunities that I might otherwise not get a chance at.